The Texas House and an Illinois state senator suing 33 away without leave Democrats in Illinois courts and seeking to domesticate Texas warrants in Illinois to allow for the arrest and return of those Democrats. It is Illinois in Focus Daily. I'm Greg Bishop. Like, subscribe, hit that notification bell, and wake up with us each and every weekday morning. The latest from our contributor down in Texas, Bethany Blakely. She's on top of this story, and Blankley says that you've got this ongoing court battle now that we're going to have to keep track of because it was filed by Texas House Republicans and an Illinois Republican state senator in Adams County. So we'll get to that, but some of the other headlines that you've got to also get ready for. You've got Governor Pritzker saying that he's welcoming the FBI to Illinois to search for those absconding Democrats, but he says there's no federal law broken. So we'll touch on that as well and get some more of the minutia about the map-making process. So let's go right to Bethany Blankley's story here and read through this together. So you can, again, get this in your inbox if you get the newsletter each and every weekday morning, but let's just get right to it. The Texas House of Representatives suing 33 House Democrats who absconded to Illinois to prevent a vote on congressional redistricting efforts in the Lone Star State. The lawsuit was filed in the 8th Judicial Circuit Court in Adams County, Illinois. It asks the court to hold the Democrats in contempt and to domesticate Texas warrants, allowing for absconding Democrats to be arrested and brought back to Texas. The lawsuit was filed by the Texas Office of Attorney General and Illinois State Senator Jill Tracy. I am set to talk with Senator Tracy a little bit later on this morning. I wanted to get her on live this morning, but it was pretty last minute when I was able to get a hold of her. But we will hear her thoughts on this, and this is going to be a story we'll continue to track. But the lawsuit, it says from day one, I've said that all options are on the table when it comes to making sure my colleagues who have fled the House return to fulfill their constitutional obligations. That's Dustin Burrows, the Texas House Speaker, signing civil arrest warrants for 56 House Democrats on Monday. Keep in mind, the Democrats fled Sunday night ahead of the Monday Texas General Assembly getting together. So the majority of Democrats remain defiant, unmoved by threats of arrest, and 33 of them remain in the Chicago area. So it goes on. The Texas House Speaker says the members who fled have been given ample time and opportunity to return on their own accord, and because they have continued to refuse their responsibilities to their constituents and return to Texas, the state has no choice but to pursue additional legal remedies to compel their return from other states. Our full focus is on stopping this dereliction of duty and restoring quorum in the Texas House as soon as possible so we may return our time, attention, and resources where they matter most on the critical issues of the special session call. The House Speaker in Texas also issued warrants pursuant to this authority through the Texas Constitution and House rules, stating that when a call of the House is issued, which Burrows did on Monday, all absent from whom no sufficient excuse is made, by order of majority of those present, be sent for and arrested wherever they may be found. So that filing, again, in Illinois court in Adams County from Texas Republicans and Republican State Senator Jill Tracy names the 33 different House Democrats they believe are in Illinois. The Texas Democrats protesting, drawing maps. All right, so here you got the latest in this case, and you can read more about that and delve even deeper with Bethany Blankley's story at thecentersquare.com. But let's hear a little bit about the ongoing question of the FBI now getting involved. And this was breaking yesterday morning when Texas U.S. Senator John Cornin, he said that the FBI has agreed to take this case and to help assist in finding these individuals. Again, go to thecentersquare.com where you can read about this. Pritzker welcomes FBI looking for Dems in Illinois from Texas and dismisses a bribery question. So as the FBI gets involved in locating Texas Democrats hiding out in states like Illinois, Governor J.B. Pritzker says they're welcome, but the Democratic governor insists absconding the legislators aren't breaking any federal law. At the request of John Cornin, the FBI Thursday agreed to assist with locating Texas Democrats who fled the state to prevent the Texas House from reaching a quorum to change congressional district maps. Then you have Governor Pritzker being asked about the FBI getting involved yesterday after he cut the ribbon on the Illinois State Fair.
Look, I've said it before, this is a lot of grandstanding by the Trump administration, by John Cornin, by Governor Abbott in Texas. The reality is that all that he has said, Cornin, is that the FBI has been authorized to locate the Texas House Democrats. Nothing more. And you know why? Because there is no federal law that allows them to arrest Texas Democrats who are here visiting the state of Illinois. I welcome the FBI coming to the state. I hope they take in the state fair. I hope they go see the beauty of Lake Michigan. Yeah, adventure awaits for all of them, but they won't be arresting anyone because there is no U.S. federal law that prohibits those Texas House Democrats from being here in the state of Illinois.
But again, you've got the question here of the lawsuit that's now been filed and just how rapid that lawsuit may have to be addressed because this is an ongoing, and time-sensitive issue. So what's going to happen in Adams County, we'll be watching closely as to if they're given that jurisdiction and to have their warrants domesticated in Illinois so that Texas can come and try to round up these Texas Democrats and take them back to the Lone Star State. So how's that interworking going to play out? And how's the FBI now that they say that, according to John Cornin, that they're going to get involved and help locate? But again, the governor says no federal law has been broken. After he said that at the state fair during the Q&A portion here in Springfield yesterday, I had to ask the governor about what kind of line might be drawn here. How are Texas Democrats getting resources to leave Texas and stay away from home? How do you not cross that line into bribery for accepting resources in exchange for avoiding a vote on a controversial issue, right? I mean, it's the same thing. You can get a bribe for not acting, or you can get a bribe for acting, right? So that question I had to pose to the governor, saying, where do you draw that line? Getting those resources and getting bribery.
What?
And I had to clarify bribery. Here's the governor.
Have you ever been forced to spend a lot of time away from your family and your job? I can just say these people are making enormous sacrifices. They're here because they're fighting for democracy. And I've said that over and over again. We all ought to be supporting people who are standing up for our country, for our constitutional republic.
So he didn't really address the question, but Cornin, he said that he's got concerns here. And again, go to the story at thecentersquare.com where you'll see it says the reality is that let's go to Cornin's comments here. Here we go. Just trying to find it here. I apologize. John Cornin put out a statement essentially worried that you're going to have these Texas Democrats running afoul, possibly even into bribery. I could have sworn I had that quote in there. Regardless, you can find that here at thecentersquare.com, where you've got Cornin, again, here it is, saying that he's concerned the Texas legislators could, by avoiding their duties and getting funds in return, they may be guilty of bribery or other public corruption. But again, the governor didn't really address that question when I asked him.
Have you ever been forced to spend a lot of time away from your family and your job? I can just say these people are making enormous sacrifices. They're here because they're fighting for democracy. And I've said that over and over again. We all ought to be supporting people who are standing up for our country, for our constitutional republic.
All right. So the governor also was asked yesterday about the plans that Illinois Democrats have if Texas changes their maps to give congressional Republicans 5 extra seats in 2026. And maybe Indiana is going to do some kind of, redrawing of maps. Maybe some other Republican states do that. What are Illinois Democrats going to do about that?
Look, they're aware, and the only brief conversations that I've had about it have been about the fact that we've got to do everything we can, and we're all looking for the right avenues. And let me be clear, we already have taken an enormous step. We have welcomed those Texas House Democrats to the state of Illinois. That is a big step. You can see that a whole lot of attention by Donald Trump, by the FBI, by John Cornin, by Greg Abbott has been brought on the state of Illinois as a result of all of that. And that's not something we're seeking. It's just, their attempt, again, to thwart democracy. So as far as I'm concerned, we're doing the right thing, and I'm proud of it. and I'm not going to back down. We're going to do everything we can to protect these Texas House Democrats and to help them do what they're doing. These are heroes. I mean, so much that they've given up for all of us. They frankly should be supported by all of us.
So we're going to see a governor talking about what the Democrats in Illinois plan to do if there's changes to Texas's congressional maps. But when he was asked directly about is Illinois going to draw new maps, here's his response.
Nobody's done any work on a map for Illinois. We have a map in Illinois. It was passed and signed back in 2021. That's when they're done, right after a decennial census. And that's when they should be done, not in the middle of a decade, just because Donald Trump wants to change the math for 2026. So I'm happy that we did it back then. We're not making any moves right now. If we have to, we're going to look at all the options that are available to us. Yes, Alex.
So what are the options, right? What are the options that are available to them? Changing the maps, maybe. And listen, there's no law, from my understanding, nationwide that prevents states from changing their maps whenever they want to change their maps. They just have to base it off the most recent census data. But what's interesting is you've got, again, go to thecentersquare.com. President Trump calls for new census excluding undocumented immigrants. We'll touch on that here in a moment. But we know the impact of international migration into states, because if you look at Illinois, over 10 years, we lost population, domestic population, people moving out of the state of Illinois to other states like Texas, like Florida, and even Indiana and Missouri. You've got people moving out of the state of Illinois to those states. But the most recent census estimates, we actually gained population because the number of incoming international migrants into Illinois, and that's the term that's used when they track this data, it outpaced the number of people moving out of Illinois. So you had people coming from other countries to Illinois, but then you had Illinoisans leaving the state, and the number of international visitors or residents from other countries moving in outnumbered those moving out. So will we see an updated census? How quick could that come about under the Trump administration? Not too sure. But obviously that could throw even more interesting twists and turns into this entire story. State Representative Brad Halbrook was at an unrelated event talking about energy prices. And he was asked about what he thinks that the Illinois Democrats may do if indeed Texas changes their maps.
I would expect them to kind of lose control. That they're all about maintaining the status quo. It's just really hypocritical, I think, of the governor to bring these folks in from these legislators from Texas when he's standing on the worst Jerry maps in our state, in our state's history, and in the nation. It's just hypocritical. What their response will be, I don't really know.
How all of this is going to play out, we'll be watching closely. It's something we've talked about all week, and I think it's going to continue, especially again with that lawsuit that Texas Republicans in the Texas House joined with Illinois State Senator Jill Tracy to allow for the Texas warrants to be domesticated in Illinois. But obviously yesterday was the state fair. Governor J.B. Pritzker cutting the ribbon there. It's going to be a lot of interesting, heated political talk next week for Governor's Day, and then the following day being Republican Day here at the Illinois State Fair in Springfield. All right, it's Illinois in Focus Daily. I'm Greg Bishop. Like, subscribe, hit that notification bell, and wake up with us each and every weekday morning here for more Illinois in Focus with the Center Square.